How to describe the 2015 United States Conference on AIDS? Something like this. My video coverage of USCA is right after this.
We all have the same condition. It's called life. I'm living mine as a gay man and an addict in recovery who's dealing with aging and being a friend and finding happiness and staying healthy and having fun and enjoying laughter, all while living with HIV for more than 25 years. I'm Mark S. King, and this is my fabulous disease.
Anthony Fauci was just one of the big names inspiring a ballroom filled with people during this annual conference, sponsored by the National Minority AIDS Council. And oh look, there's actress Kate Burton. She's giving an award on behalf of the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation to Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi. Okay, this is all great, but you know me. It's the people watching from the ballroom I love, the ones doing the work on the front lines. Let's meet some, including the newbies.
You're the first time at this conference, and you've been only working in HIV for how long?
Only 6 months.
6 months.
Yes.
Is this a little overwhelming?
Yeah, it is. It very much is. I'm kind of confused about where I want to go. I'm kind of excited about because I want to see and try to reach out to everything that's here so that I can get some information and learn a lot of different things for the Wellness Center back at Philadelphia Center.
At the Philadelphia Center, which is in Shreveport, Louisiana, my hometown. Say hello to my mom.
Hi, Mom!
You know, most people know you as the first man cured of AIDS.
Right.
And yet they don't realize, perhaps, that you didn't just get cured from AIDS and go wandering back into your life. You have really become an advocate for cure research.
Yeah, I couldn't live with myself if I went back into life and didn't do anything. I do not want to be the only person in the world cured of HIV. I am that right now, but I want that to change.
Tell me about what you're doing there in Flint.
Oh, we are breaking it down in Flint, Michigan. We just unrolled our care coordination, so we're integrating primary care for the LGBT community and also HIV care as well.
How do you like being at USCA?
I love it. This is my first time here at the conference.
Yeah, here's my advice for you.
Okay.
Talk to everybody you pass in the hallway. You know, share an escalator down.
Right.
And strike up a conversation, and comfortable shoes.
I love what I do, just to interact with the women and see the women walk into the agency when they're thinking there's no hope, and they walk into the agency and they find hope. It's just a joy.
You're turning lives around.
Yes, and that's what we say, share our stories, saving lives.
You have some breasts here.
Yes.
They're breasts of color, I see.
Yes, and they're
are
stress
these
balls.
like stress balls?
Yes, they are stress balls.
Can I take one of these?
You sure can.
What is this?
That's an empowerment pole, helping women to be empowered.
Can I get on it?
You sure can.
Only at an AIDS conference would the women's empowerment pole be irresistible to men. Oh, I stand corrected.
What do you believe to be the most significant change between the time you served in this office and today?
Well, I think there are a couple of things. I think the first is the changing face of the epidemic, that the epidemic now is largely an epidemic of young gay men in the South. The second is that we have a global epidemic that we really didn't understand even when I was in the White House. We knew that it was going to be awful. We had no idea how big it would be, but now we've been able to mount a really incredible program to address HIV in the developing world in almost the same way that we've done in the United States.
Now we're talking about the end of the HIV epidemic, and I think we all believe in this vision, but there's a lot of hard work that needs to happen.
We're now talking about an AIDS-free generation, which is remarkable. When we look at the National HIV/AIDS Strategy, it's a document that's living, that's enduring, that's moving us forward.
Speaking of the National AIDS Strategy, these advocates are organizing their thoughts just prior to a listening sessions officials are having about the National AIDS Strategy.
There are a lot of concerns about the new National HIV/AIDS Strategy that was released. There are particular concerns around, for example, the developmental indicator on transgender women. We also know that the language on criminalization is not strong enough. We know that it will be impossible for the strategy to achieve its goals around viral suppression and PrEP without addressing sexual and reproductive health and rights of people living with HIV.
We are getting rid of the fear, getting rid of the stigma. We want people to be comfortable with who they are, self-love, self-respect. That's what we're all about.
Do you think that we're moving past the initial skepticism about PrEP?
This whole notion of skepticism, in my opinion, that's a white thing. That's not a black thing. And the black community is about awareness and education. If we can make people aware and we can educate them, we're ready to take up anything that's going to help save our lives.
Phil Wilson, I urge you to go have a cup of coffee.
And so I invited the trans folks to come on up and take over the stage.
That was Paul Kawada, director of the National Minority AIDS Council, and he clearly believes that at this conference, we don't shut out the disenfranchised. We give them the microphone.
When trans people are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When trans people are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When trans people...
This issue is critical because trans people are not getting adequate or compassionate care, and they often don't even show up on epidemiological data. They're lumped in with gay men. As one of the protesters shouted, "We are not gay men."
Probably the topic we talk about least are those who were born with HIV.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and so that's part of the goal of this documentary is to really put us into the history as well, and put us into the narrative of the long-term survivors and seeing what our experiences have been like, how in a lot of ways they're similar to any other long-term survivor, and then just what are the nuances of that made our lives different because we know no life without HIV.
I've got 3 long-term survivors here, and actually between the 4 of us, we've been living with HIV for over 120 years. How does that make you feel?
Old. After seeing We Were Here and was thinking that it's time to bring long-term survivors together to honor, literally to honor our experience to be together.
I am really focused on cure research and finding a cure, and so I'm a cure research advocate. That's really my main focus today.
I was told I had 6 months to live, and I was in a hospital at the time.
Yeah.
And I was a nurse at the time, and I just said, bullshit, no doctor's going to tell me how long I'm going to live.
Well, after 3 days at the United States Conference on AIDS, I feel like I found my tribe.
Yeah, right.
Here we are, right?
I was honored to be able to present this year as host of a session on social media sponsored by Gilead Sciences. I got to talk about some of the blog topics that really mean a lot to me.
Ken is a decorated serviceman who was unfairly prosecuted for HIV exposure without evidence or a fair trial. Don't even get me started on HIV criminalization. It's something I feel incredibly passionate about.
Our speaker lineup for this session was great. Blogger Guy Anthony, Lavia Jahi of the Red Pump Project, Michael Crawford from Freedom to Marry, Michelle Samplin-Salgado and Miguel Gomez from AIDS.gov, and even Davey Wavey, the often shirtless internet star, provided insight on reaching an audience with health messages. My husband loves his videos, a little too much if you ask me, but in a magnanimous moment on stage with Davey, I just had to do this.
Let me welcome my husband.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, hold on. Okay, you so owe me for this. Here, yes, it's fine. Okay, break it up.
That's $75, please.
Thank you, baby. Okay.
With advocates like the people you just met and so many more, I have faith we can turn our vision into reality. Thanks for watching, and please be well.